Okay, so we are gonna go and start Cars of the Round Table. So welcome everyone who joined us today. Cars of the Round Table is a podcast with an open discussion where every 2 weeks we select a Rocket League topic and we talked about them. We talk about it in an open discussion fashion. You can join the Discord and make your voice heard. Everyone has their word to say in Cars of the Round Table. So this week, the topic is what would you add to Rocket League? So it can be anything that you think would make the game better, okay? So it can range from a game mode to cosmetics to something that is basically not even in the game, as far as helicopters. So I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna introduce you guys to Megafly, Real Shift Titan, and CD, who will be participating in these open discussion with their voice. So I'm gonna start and pitch my own idea of what I would add into Rocket League, and I think would make the game better. So the thing I wanted the most, obviously, is tournament mode, but it's going to be announced, so I'm not picking that for today's discussion. What I'm picking today is org cosmetics. Purple guessed that. It's definitely the one thing I would add to Rocket League right now, okay? We need this. I'm gonna pay for it, okay? I want my Cloud9 banner. I want my Cloud9 decals. I want my Cloud9 flag. I need that. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna pay you, Cynix, and I'm gonna pay C9 to get that in game. I cannot believe that we still don't have that in the. I cannot believe we still don't have that in the game. Like every single big game has that. I don't see the reason to not add them. It's gonna add a lot of supports to orgs into our wonderful game, into our wonderful esport. It's gonna help people commit into the Rocket League scene. You know, it's gonna bring more revenue for orgs to join the scene. And how do we grow an esports scene in a game? You grow it by getting some big revenue in that want to get there, some viewership. And how do you do that? Well, you add org cosmetics. It's gonna make basically any single team make more revenue. It's gonna make loyalty even better. Why do people like hockey, basketball, or football for so long? Is because they like a team. They follow that team. They get their jerseys. They go see them. Well, why can't we do this in Rocket League? Why can't I have in game my C9 jersey? Okay. And the last thing I'm gonna add before I open the floodgates for everyone to get their idea on that topic is that it would even be great if we could get official quote unquote decals, which would serve as jerseys, and when pro teams play, they wear them. So C9 versus Method. C9 has the C9 decals, the Method has the Method decals. That way, when we wear our decals, we feel even better because we want to be with them, you know. We want to feel like we are part of it, and I need to show off to everybody that I fucking love Cloud9. Like, it's simple, okay? I like them, I want to support them, I want to show them. So that's the one thing I would add to Rocket League. So I'm gonna open the floodgates, and you guys can just tell me what you think about that. I'm pretty sure you guys have interesting topics about that, right? So just go ahead and tell me what you think.
I think that what you want to add is actually quite a good idea. You know, like everyone in the chat has been saying.
Okay, so everyone seems to be on the side that it's a good idea, but how do we price it? You know, I feel that that's a way where people might be confused. You know, I feel like it's great to add them, but where people might be a bit not sure is about the pricing of it. And I would like to hear CD's and Megafly's opinion on that. You guys are muted and you would need to like unmute yourself. But
I feel
yeah, go ahead.
like the pricing side of it could be done the same way like the NBA flag pack was. So you buy like a decal, a banner, and a flag for like, for instance, $2.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Like, part of that money then goes to the org, and part of it goes through to Psionics.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. So what? Yeah, go ahead. That's what I wanted.
What about if you like link your Twitch, and if you're subbed to one of the players of the team, you get the thing related to that team?
Oh, that would be actually insane. That would be yeah, that would be cool. That would be. I don't know if it would be better than simply adding some like in-game shop, but I think the best would be both, right? That's actually a great idea. Like if you're a Violent Panda fan, then you get and you sub to him, you get the GFE swag.
But then would you lose it whenever you unsub to him?
That's a good question. Maybe have because what do you do if
what do you do? An overlap period.
Yeah, exactly.
Enable you to have that time to resub to him to keep your items.
And what happens with team switches? Let's say you're a GFE fan and Violent Panda changes team and is the only one you sub to. What happens then? All right, do you keep like Violent Panda just goes, let's say with Fnatic, you get the Fnatic jersey, or do you keep the GFE one? What happens then? You know, that's the flaw I see with subbing to the actual player. Because like switches happen, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so I feel like we pretty much everyone agrees that that's a great idea. Obviously, I do agree with myself, and I'm gonna go and ask Titans. What would be the one thing you would add in Rocket League?
I would simply take away the timer out of the training mode.
The timer? What do you mean?
It screws me when I'm like trying to learn like aerials and stuff. All right, the timer screws me over. If I miss that aerial, yeah, the time. So if I go up for like the wall to air dribbles and you've got that timer on,
yeah,
right, the timer screws me over because if I go up the wall and I miss the ball, the timer's already started and I've got to go all the way back round and go up the wall again and then pray to God that I can do it without it touching the floor. I think from a beginner aspect for like learning, in certain trainings, the timer should be sort of eradicated from it. So if you do, screw up, you haven't got to worry about the ball hitting the floor.
Okay,
and then you having to do it again.
Okay, I got that. What about a toggle, where you could toggle with time and without time?
Toggle it on and off.
Yeah, to add to this, I'd like just more customization to custom trainings. Like you could basically change it to your taste. Like maybe you want to limit the boost amount. Maybe you want to start with no boost in certain trainings and stuff like that.
See, I think it's a really good idea.
I also think it's a great idea. A more customization in training would benefit everyone, right? Because I remember, I don't know if you guys used that, but the Rocket League trainer, that the mod you had to actually download. I don't know if you guys used that, but
I never used it. No.
Okay, so. Okay, that was a pain, man. Like we came from far, but more customization is definitely a great idea. Cause even just the timer on and off, I never thought about that, to be honest, Titan. That's quite interesting. I never found it was an issue
in the last 5 minutes.
Wow, because I never figured it was an issue because I just kept restarting it. But what? So even let's take the Walter air dribble example. You would go in the air, and if like you fucked it up, you would just try it again without like restarting.
Yeah, if you didn't touch the ball, you wouldn't have to restart. You could just try again without having the timer to worry about.
Well, because the ball is getting shot right towards the wall, or is it not moving?
Some of them, the ball gets shot up the wall, and others, the ball is there waiting for you to come off the wall.
Oh, okay. Okay, and the timer fucks. Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
the moment I've jumped off the wall, the timer's started, and I've not had enough time to come all the way back round to go up the wall again to get the shot
Okay,
off.
and the ball didn't move, right? So,
No.
okay, okay, I get that. So instead of simply restarting, you would prefer to like go around it and just like do it in the single sequence. Is that right?
Just
Okay.
like try again. But it's like, almost like a gimme in golf, where they just give you it because you're so goddamn close to the hole. You just you can redo it without having to worry about anything.
Okay, because otherwise it fucks the quote unquote final scores that you get for the percentage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. I mean, yeah, that's it. Okay, I get that. I never thought about it, but that's why I love talking about you guys, because it's for stuff like this where I didn't think about that. It's
See,
a
that's why I'm
great.
noob in your stream, you see.
But we all have different, like, we all want something different from Rocket League, right? So
Yeah.
my perfect Rocket League is not your perfect
Sorry,
Rocket
guys.
League, so it's
I'll
just the best. All right, so I think we pretty much have done all the round, unless someone wants to add something. But CD, I would like to hear what would you add? Rocket
Oh
League.
man, well,
One thing.
it's not gonna be original because it's just gonna be again with the custom trainings. I just like
Okay.
I just like more customization in the custom trainings. Well, like, you know, when you save a playlist,
Mhm.
it's always in your favorites. I'd like to like sort my favorites.
Oh,
Have, like,
that's a good idea.
Stuff for air dribbling, stuff for flicks, dribbles, one for clears, one for defense, and also like be able to create your own sequence by importing shots from other trainings if you want.
Wow. Okay, so that is a great idea. Once again, something I did not think about, the sorting of your trainings, because that would make it so much cleaner to navigate around the custom trainings. Because now the problem, I don't even know how they are sorted, right? Do you know? Because it's not alphabetical.
No, it's I think it's like the most played. I'm not sure. I mean, when you play it most.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. But I mean, it's kind of weird, because sometimes like you're gonna go and do like more air dribbles, but that does not mean you want like your I don't know, your defense want to get at the bottom of the fucking list. And the more you play and the longer it goes, I mean, the more training you get, and the harder it is to actually just come back to those training, right? Because sometimes I just forget about them. Like, I just don't even like do them ever again because they're too far, right?
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So you would add just more customizations outside the training or inside, like Titan. Like,
Well,
let's say you had to only choose one. I mean, in the
for
ideal
this one,
world, you
it
get
was
both.
outside. For this one, it was outside.
Okay, so you would prefer changing it outside to like sort it better, right? Okay, cool. So it's not the same thing as Titan, which would be inside. My question is to come back to, because it's kind of similar, right? Those topics are like both idea kind of go well together. I mean, in the ideal world, you get both. But what about customizations for like shot power, or like change the angle slightly without like actually having to do like fucking 40 shots? What do you guys
Or
think
even
about
change the car position a bit and stuff like that. Yeah.
that? Yeah, would you prefer that than the sorting and timer, or would you still go with the sorting and your timer?
Oh.
Because that's the real challenge, because obviously we want everything, right? But more often than not in video games, when you do some video game developing, you cannot do everything at the same time. You have to make some sacrifices, or you have to make like at least like an order of importance. So that's why I'm challenging you guys to which would you pick if you had one. And let's say even better, if you only had to pick one, and the other would never be implemented, like ever, what would you pick?
Oh man.
You always make this so damn hard.
I mean, that's the whole goal of it. Otherwise, it's too easy. Obviously, everyone wants everything, right? Otherwise, it's just too like we want the perfect game. All right, but in reality, that's not how it works. So if you had one thing to pick, like, and the other would not be implemented ever, would you still go with the timer? Would you still go with the sorting?
Probably go with the sorting, to be fair, because the longer someone plays the game, the better they get at it. You know, and the better your gameplay becomes, the less you worry about the timer function.
Good point. City.
I mean, I'd rather have the sorting option than
Okay.
the timer. I mean, the timer never really.
I mean, not necessarily the timer, but those in training customization, like the position of your car and
Well, there's
the
so
strength
many
of the
things
ball.
in training that I'd like. That
Yeah, but you have to pick one. Is it sorting? That's my question. That's what makes it interesting
Okay,
to
well-
talk about.
Well, the sorting is like one thing, and in-game customization, in-game custom training customization. There's so many things that I'd like in it that I can't go for sorting in this thing.
Okay, so
I
you
mean,
would
I'd
pick
just
in
choose,
training.
like-
Okay, yeah.
I'd pick like slow-mo, boost, power, and everything.
So you'd pick slow-mo. I will mute you for the rest of the podcast because people who like slow-mo need to get the fuck out of here. No, I'm just kidding. But
I can understand
like
the reasoning behind it.
I do also, but you see, it's kind of interesting. City had a point, and Titan had another one, like a point A and point B, and technically Titan went. If you had only one to choose forever, Titan went for City's idea, and City switched
in the
his
long
idea.
term.
Well, for me, like I really don't care about.
Wow.
I mean the sorting. I mean I can live with that for real.
CD, please.
City, please. Okay, so you could live without the sorting, but still you pick that as the one thing you would add. So it changes from day to day. That's what I'm getting there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I might be then the only one in my camp who, I mean, I would take org cosmetics over everything else in the game except
Really?
tournament mode, because I know it's gonna come, so it's basically official. It would be the only thing. Other than that, I would take org cosmetics and be fine with not having anything else ever. So that's how committed I am to this idea. Like, I want it so bad because I think the game is like not perfect, but I can live with it forever like that. The only thing I cannot live forever is not to brag about my love for Cloud9.
All right.
So, Megafly, everything said you said you were stabilized. Can you add your point here, or do you still have audio issues? I guess we still have audio issues, right? All right, so just ping me on Discord or on chat when you are ready to say your point, Megafly. Okay. So I'll assume you heard that, and then
Well,
we'll
my
go.
question really is
Oh yeah,
more-
go.
Well, my question more is, are you guys having issues hearing me?
Now we are hearing you. Like, we did not before. Now we do.
Okay, well, I have push to talk on. That's the reason why, because I'm also out on a busy street.
Oh, can you just repeat that, please? Just boost your voice up.
I think the issues are still here. I don't think I'll be able to say anything.
Holy fuck, it's fucking up, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, the audio is fucking up. The best way would be like just try and type it, and I'll read it for you. Cause like it's It's getting red. It's like all glitchy. You just type it here. All right, perfect. So just type it out, and you guys, because after Megafly is going to be purple and then Dezo. So just get your idea ready, guys, because when I'm going to call you, I mean, it's going to be your turn, and the faster your idea gets out, well, the better it is, you know? Because there's going to be less downtimes, right? So just go ahead, Megafly. I'm going to wait for his idea. And in the meantime, I just want to come back on the pricing point of Org Cosmetics. How much would you guys be ready to pay for them? Like, if we go the whole set. If we go the whole set, like the decal, the flag, and the banner.
A couple of quid would not be unreasonable for it. Because it's something that would be used, like, on a regular basis.
And it gets, like, profit to Cynix and the team, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much would you pay for that, CD? Would you even pay for it?
Wait, I'm sorry. I wasn't focused on the discussion.
Wow.
Can you repeat the
You're
question, please?
never coming back ever again on. I said, how much would you pay for the Org Cosmetics? Because everyone agreed it was a good idea, but how much would you be ready to pay for it? Like, you get the decal, the flag, and the banner.
Decal, flag, and banner.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I really care a lot, so I mean, I think $5 is a good pricing, but I don't really mind. I might not even buy them.
Okay, so I would agree with you that $5 is a good point. Like, I would pay $5 definitely to have that. I don't know where the tipping point would be. I mean, $10 would be probably too high for me. Like, I like them, but it's still like, I mean, I'm not gonna pay, because obviously the flag doesn't really count, because a lot of people play without flags. So it kind of does, but at least for me, it does not. The decal, I mean, they are often really cool, so I could pay for that. Same thing for the banners. So $250 for a banner and a decal, I feel well, I mean, each would be fair. So $5 would be the perfect price point, I think. Would you guys agree with that point?
Yeah, and what I like about $5 is that people are not gonna will not tend to like just buy all of them. So they will always pick like their favorite teams.
Oh, so you have to commit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Like,
that's a good point, because
the pricing is high enough.
oh yeah, good point. Okay, so yeah, that's I definitely agree with that, because one of the strongest strength of Org Cosmetic is loyalty to your team and show support. So if it's like $1, then a lot of people will just buy all the fucking team, right?
Yeah.
But we want some competitions between team, right? That's what makes esports fun, is rivalries and stuff like that, right?
Well, the thing is, the teams could use it as another way to like track their fan base.
Yeah, that would be one of multiple ways, yeah. So you could like you could boast around that your team has the most representative.
Yeah, representative
Inside
from
it,
Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. That would be so cool. And I would even like. I don't know if that would be too much, like, or that would be detrimental to the smarter teams. But when they play a RLCS game, do you show the amount of supporters? Like, let's say that you can buy them and somehow they can track it. Then when you got C9 versus NRG, can you see how many people support each side? That would be kind of interesting, I feel.
Yo, guys, I just had an idea about that. What about if it's free? Like if it's all free, right? But it's at the start of a season, you have to choose a team. Like at the start of an RLCS season, you have to start a team. You have to choose a team, I mean, and you're gonna get their decals and their flags for the entire season.
I like that. Then you can change it sort of each year if you wanted. Or each
Can you?
season.
Okay,
you
but
could change it every season, but you cannot change it for the entire season. Like,
so you get one per season, and you cannot ever switch it for this season.
Exactly.
I like that idea.
That's cool. Okay, I like that idea, but how do they get support then? how do they get the financial support? Because a lot of people, like a lot of teams, it's rough joining a new esport because of the revenue. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
That's true.
Teams are companies. They need to make some revenue, right? So I mean, it's a good idea to only be able to pick one and never I like that idea very much, to only pick one and never be able to change it while the season goes on. The season goes on, but how do they make profit off of that?
Well, maybe like $5 every season, I guess. It's
Okay, so
like
and
a
you still get
subscription.
one pick,
Yeah.
Okay, so I get that. All right. Okay, Megafly typed his idea, so we'll go and go with his, right? If I had to add something to Rocket League, I'd add a better form of MMR rating. I believe League of Legends has a decent start on the MMR and ranking system. I would not copy it entirely, but change the standard of divisions and give a better visual on points in your current divisions. Otherwise, the only MMR areas that show their points are champion and higher. So, and just before we get into that, he adds something about the org cosmetics, and he says, if you wanted to do cosmetics, I'd go tiers of cosmetics, like $1 tier, $5 tiers, and higher depending on what the org is willing to have Signix support. So I like the idea of tiers, and maybe instead of, because now it's hard because you cannot go with your voice and explain your point, but what about because I was talking about packages, but what if the decal didn't come with the banner, so it's basically tiers but not quite tiers? Do you guys get that?
Yeah.
Titan and City, yeah. Maybe. Wow, what a thoughtful response, City.
I think with the org bundle, there's a lot that they could do. I hate to say it, but it's one of these things that when they do it, they'll probably get it wrong first time.
Oh, you think so?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to get something right the first time, and there's a lot of time and dedication into researching and running various sort of algorithms and possibilities as to ways they can sort of run something. And they could come up with 30 ideas, and only one of those 30 ideas is going to be the right way to do it, or the way that the community wants it done.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to run some sort of poll to get an idea of what the majority of the community is after. Okay,
so they could basically, I mean, there's nothing forcing them to keep the same recipe. Let's say they use one for RLCS Season 5, and it doesn't quite work, or a community has a lot of feedback about that and they don't quite agree, then they can switch it, right? So as long as it stays open, right?
Yeah.
We'll just wait. Okay, so and then one last point from Megafly about that. He says he agrees with CD and only one free per. Okay, so no, it doesn't quite agree. He says one free per season is a good idea, and then you can buy the other ones. But the issue I have with that is that your favorite one will be the free one, and it's the only one who doesn't get support, like financial support. So I get where you're coming from, or unless Signix is ready to give them support, even for the free picks, that could work. But then Signix get a bit, they get less revenue off of that, right? So which is ultimately not good. We want them to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with Purple's idea now. My idea would be custom map editing to play custom game modes. There are so many fun games you can play, but you have to customize it. You have to customize it each time. Would be double bonus if you could publish your game modes. So basically, having custom game modes in game that anyone can do their own, and even better if you can publish them like custom trainings. If I'm getting it correctly, I'm pretty sure that's what he means, right? But what do you guys think about that? I'll let you guys go on that idea first.
I quite like that idea, to be fair.
Okay, so
I think that
go ahead. Sorry.
having your own like custom created game mode available for other people to play is a really good idea, because it means you haven't got to go through these settings to change everything, like whether you want low gravity or like a massive big beach ball or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes playing the game mode that you want to play a lot easier, rather than having to go through, like Purple said, every time and having to create it and set everything up.
So would that be as simple as saving mutators mode, or are you guys talking about like multiple balls in the game, or those kind of mods? You know, those like really well, not sketchy, but the ones that are not doable like in game.
I think like the second lot that you said.
Okay, so multiple goal. Purple wants to add multiple goals, different rules. Like if you score, it takes away from the other team's score, and adds to yours. And publishing them would allow more people to experience them. So it would be basically like a whole other game mode, basically like custom training, but it would be custom game modes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to hear CD's opinion about that, because I'm gonna keep my mine for last.
Alright, well, just... So is this online or offline? I'm not sure. I don't really understand.
It would be online. It would be online. From what I'm getting, unless Purple...
With random people or with, like, friends?
I mean, you couldn't queue into it, obviously. Like, you would have to, like, put them into, like, private matches, I think. Like, let's say we go into a private match. Yeah, that I think that's the only way to go about it. Because online, I mean, it's gonna be...
Yeah, it's just, I don't really... I mean, I don't feel like a lot of people use private matches.
Okay, so you feel like the idea itself is not bad, but not useful to enough people. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. I'm saying it's just... I don't know, I feel like most of the people just won't use it.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I understand. So basically, Purple also agrees with you, because he says definitely a casual-oriented portion of Rocket League. But that's the beauty of this podcast, is I want to know, like, we all have different tastes. I want to know which portion of the fan base wants what, and what other type of player wants what. Because we often think that what we want is what everyone wants. And it could not be further from the truth, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I like that. That's why I like that we basically all have different ideas that are talking about basically multiples areas of the game. Because we have CD, who wants to like get all TD and stuff about training. We have Titan, who is basically in the process of really trying hard to get better. So he wants tools to
Emphasis on the
actually exactly assist him in his tryharding mode. And basically, I'm a huge branding bitch, so I want branded items in the game. So we are three people who play a lot of Rocket League that have three totally different ideas. Then we get Megafly and Purple, who also have totally different ideas that are not even on the same areas of the game. So I'm really glad that we get so many different topic, and I would really like to now hear Dezo's idea, because he queued up. So I'm ready to hear your part, Dezo. If someone else wants to get their idea heard, just join the queue, and I will name you after Dezo, and you can pitch what would be the one thing you would add to Rocket League. Because remember, if you we go by the basis that if you add this thingy that you want, nothing else ever gets added, because that makes it a whole lot harder. Like, I'm not even sure if Purple, would you, just before going to Dezo, Purple, would you keep that idea if you knew nothing else would ever be added to Rocket League? That's a question, right? Because a lot of them, like, I mean, those are great ideas, but are you ready to defend them to the point where you would be ready to never add something else? Purple says yes. Okay, perfect. So I'm a fan of that. You're committed to it. Nice. Dezo, okay. Add a team ranking and team queue so that when you play ranked with your team, only that rank is affected. To make it convenient, you could create a team like in League of Legends, let's say 5 players, so that you have subs. And I think that idea is brilliant. It's being thrown around by multiple people. One of the most fervent defenders of that idea is Pashi90, who basically did a huge post on Reddit and Twitter because he really wants that. You know, you really feel like it's the best, basically the one thing he would add, right? So what I'm gonna wait before telling what I think about it. I wanna hear CD go first.
Well, I think it's a really good idea, but I don't really have anything to add to it. I mean,
But well, would you
I've never
agree?
really
Would
played
you
League, so I'm not sure. I'm not
how it
really
works?
sure how it works. Well,
Okay, I'm gonna
a bit,
explain
but-
it. Okay, I'm gonna explain it for people who never played League. Sometimes I forget that there are sane people who did not play League of Legends, because that fucks you up. Okay, so in League of Legends, you can create a team, and you basically invite your friends in that team, right? And when you play as a team, I mean, it used to be like that. When you play as a team, you have your team rank. So let's say that Titan, CD, and I make a team, okay? CD and I are Diamond in Rocket League, and Titan, what are you? You're Platinum, right?
Yeah, plan.
Platinum. Okay. So if we would do threes right now, like it is right now, we would have to quote unquote play with our own ranks. So everyone has their own, and winning or losing will modify that one. But with this mode, if I am understanding correctly, we would form a team, call it whatever we want. Let's just call it Team X.
Please.
Yeah, let's call our team CD Please. Then the roster of CD Please consists of me, Titan, CD, and like Dezo said, maybe subs. So me, CD, Dezo, Titan, and another player. That way, if someone cannot play, then you can get subbed in. And when we queue, we basically have our individual rank is not being affected. You know? Yeah, we get purple as our 5th. So our rank does not move that way. Even if some Grand Champ wants to play with a gold friend, he doesn't have to tank his Grand Champ rank, you know? Because that's the one of the biggest problem is always at the top end of the player base. Because they cannot play with friends. Because casual is like a fuckfest, because everyone just fucking leaves all the time. And rank is just basically impossible because it's gonna be only Grand Champs and then in there, so gold players, well, they're gonna get fucked, right? So my question to Dezo now is: would you be ready to never have anything else in the game for that? Would you be defending it? Because I know Pesci would. He would definitely defend that till the end of the earth. And I must say I do agree that it's a great idea, but I feel like that idea benefits a small fraction of the player base. I mean, in the perfect world, we get everything everyone suggested. Okay, so in the perfect world, we get everything, and the game is perfect. But in the world of capitalism and time and revenue and everything, Sonics cannot add everything. So I'm not sure if I had to pick only one thing, I would add that, because it's most beneficial to the higher tiers of player that have friends that are quite a tad lower. Because if you're like 3 Grand Champs, then I mean it doesn't change a whole lot, right? Or if you guys are 3 Diamonds, it's not gonna change a whole lot. Because even if you have placements to do, I mean if we are 3 Diamonds playing together and form a team, I mean the chances that our team's gonna get placed Diamond is hella high, right? Because individually we are 3 Diamonds, so it would make sense that we'd place Diamond. So the difference would not be very significant there. At least that's how I feel. But it would be if someone is champion and wants to play with his silver friend in a quote-unquote competitive environment, because casual just doesn't work yet. At least that's how I feel. So Classic says, not Classic, Dezo says, yes, I would definitely choose that over everything, knowing tournament mode is coming. Exactly. So, because I feel like one of the biggest points for a lot of people is tournament mode, but we all know it's coming. So, we got that out of the way. So, it's a great idea. It's a great idea, but like CD and I, we both feel we wouldn't use it, right? Is that what you said, CD?
Well, yeah.
Hello? Yeah, okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think I wouldn't use it.
Okay. What about if you go and you have a team, basically like the idea of Dezo and the idea that it is being pushed around, but you can also get a team leaderboard, some official quote unquote tags that you don't have to put into this team name, some like basically some in-game things to show off your team. Would that change something for you guys? And I want to hear what Dezo thinks about that also, or if you only want the MMR part.
I think it would benefit sort of all ranks. I mean, I'm plat now, but I wasn't always plat. You know, when I was a lower level, I would have loved to be able to play some rank games with players that were better than me.
Yeah, okay.
Sense.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so yeah, I didn't think about that, but about the because basically now if you want to play with someone higher, you either get crushed or they make a smurf and it's not cool. Because I'm really against smurfing, so yeah, I can understand. Like I see the viewpoint there, where you would do that. And Purple adds, Purple adds that he thinks it does impact our ability to play when we're I think it doesn't. I'm gonna read it. Okay.
With someone on Smurf, then it affects my ability to play Rocket League the way I want to play, because the guy on the Smurf is like beating me for all like the aerial attempts and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting that chance to get up and learning how to hit those aerials. Whereas if we were all like sort of in a team together and say they were plat and we had a gold and a silver and we all came in at gold rank, we're all on that same rank. So he has to then instill a bit more confidence in his teammates, which makes the game a bit more fair and a bit more even.
Okay, I get that. Okay, yeah, I get that. And yeah, to add, so the difference that Purple just notes, that I didn't really see it, is that with teams, let's say we form a team Titan, City, and I, well, it only goes up or down when we play all three together.
Yeah.
Which is not the case right now, because right now, if I play with like if we play the three of us, and then let's say we grind a bit, we win, let's say 10 games, and we grind a bit, then we go each our way, and then two of us just keep going up, and one of us just comes back down.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna feel weird, right? So you don't get that feeling of team, right? Because
no,
you don't. Because I can see like the sense of wanting to be part of a team and grind with it. Because right now, even if we play all together, we still progress individually. I still feel like, oh, I am champion. You know, I am diamond. I am getting better. But with a team, it becomes a we. And like, oh, nice, we reached diamond, we reached champion, and that might be something that a lot of people want to feel, you know, and that we don't quite have in Rocket League yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a great idea, Dezo, and I feel like a lot of competitive players do agree with that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them would prefer that, because where it's coming from basically initially is that the ranking system at high end is really fucked. So, and Lisa also agrees to 102%, so feels good, man. So I'm just gonna ask if anyone else wants to add their topic, what they would add, because otherwise, I mean, we've been going for 45 minutes. I mean, I feel it's not a bad time. Just want to see if what did you say? Sorry.
It's gone really quick.
Yeah. It passes super fast. So if someone else just wants to make their voice heard, I mean, it's now basically your chance. Your chance is now or never. Someone wants to add multiplayer custom training. So we basically, okay, so let's say we get some aerials training. Well, we'll be 2 in that training. Is that what you mean, CD?
Yeah, just trainings for team plays, I guess. Like we're both positioned. We both have, it's like a regular custom training, but for 2 players, I guess. So you have to, instead of putting it in the goal, you have to pass it in a certain area, and the other guy has to shoot it after your pass or stuff like that.
Okay, would you take that? Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, I get it. I get that. I'm gonna ask you a question to make it a bit harder. Would you take that custom training multiplayer or multiplayer replay? Question mark.
Wait, multiplayer what? Replay?
Free play. So you just get into free play and you can pass it to yourself without like having to go through the hassle of making a private match, making go in infinite time, and then like it's just like it's kind of complex. Like it would be native.
Okay,
if you're in a party, you
basically
can join free play as a paid.
You're asking me if I'm lazy, right?
I know the answer to that question, City. I mean, would you prefer that convenience over the multiplayer custom training?
No, I would not.
No, you would not. All right. So, from what I'm reading, everyone said their own topics. So I think I'm gonna end it there, and just want to know if you guys have a final word to say. Maybe one last thing that we talked about, if you want to come back into an idea that we had, or just something you wish you had said but you can't. Chat, you can also add one last thing if you guys want. Otherwise, it's gonna be I'm gonna call it a day.
Well, just an idea that's probably never gonna be implemented, but I'd still really love. Just be able to create a custom shot. Again, sorry with the custom trainings, but a custom shot from a replay. So you
from
just
a replay.
Yeah. So example, you saw the ball go in net there. You said, well, I could have stopped it. I'd like to be able to take the replay and take my car position, my boost amount, and the ball direction, and try to block it.
Okay, so you would basically have like a hotkey on your controller, and when something happens, you hit it, and then like it kind of quote unquote freezes the boost state, the ball speed, etc. And then you can
freeze
train
it in the replay, yeah, the replay viewing.
Okay, I mean that would be kind of cool, right? Yeah, that would be kind of cool. So yeah, you would just save that. Okay, I get that. I'm not sure if it would be the one thing I'd add, but I get where it's coming from. The only thing that I think it's not too useful about that is that most of the time you miss something it's time wrong, right? So you I need to mute that when we do the podcast. What was I saying? Fuck. Okay, so yeah, when let's say you missed an aerial, okay, and you want to try it again, right? Well, most of the time, like you see the broad type of shot you missed, and if I keep missing those kind of shots, I mean, I'm just gonna go into a custom training that do these similar shots.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's say I missed a wall aerial, then instead of simply freezing it and trying to do the exact same thing, I mean, I just go into a custom training for wall aerials and do them, right? Yeah. I mean, that's how I would proceed. So that I mean, not saying that's the end all be all thing, but I know I would not use it because I would just go broadly.
But so sometimes there's just shot in the corners that I miss and stuff like that, and I know that I make these mistakes, but I can't find trainings for them. And
you can make one?
Take time to create my own.
Oh, okay.
I'd like it to be easier.
Okay, so you're telling us that you're lazy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you that I'm lazy.
Perfect. That's what I thought. Okay, Lisa has something to add right before we end. Lisa has a good point. Okay. Instead of only having user created tournaments, like there's going to be added, I would add timed automated tournaments with in-game rewards. So, okay, basically, from what I understand, tell me if I'm wrong, Lisa, you would add, let's say, every Monday, 7 p.m., there would be a 2v2 tournament in-game automated with, let's say, where if you win like 5 decryptors.
And it'd be
Is
like
that-
It means like in-game rewards for like people watching.
I feel like it's from people playing. You can say in the chat for the difference. She said yeah, so I'm pretty sure she says it's like I said. So basically, every Monday night, it's Monday 2v2 inside the game, because right now you have that, but it's always third party orgs. Not that it's a wrong thing, but a lot of people want it native, right? Because the difference there and why like it would not be the one thing I would add, Lisa, is that a lot of third-party orgs will do that. They will do Monday 2v2 or Monday 1v1, and it's not going to be automated per se, but it's going to be every week. So I don't know to what point having it automated changes something, right? Yeah, for the people playing. So that would be my only gripe with because the actual idea is good, but does it change something in practice? Because in practice, third party orgs like PRL or SPL, they already do that, right? Weekly tournaments with rewards.
Yeah, Nexus Gaming do it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole lot. So what would that idea add or change for that? Unless like you basically hate those orgs and you want them to be like more quote unquote vanilla without any orgs tied to it. But I feel in practice it wouldn't change a whole lot. Because I mean, there's
if you could make it so those orgs were able to do those automated tournaments that they run, rather than doing them through like Smash GG, which a lot of them currently use, like giving them like access to set them up within.
I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. Pretty sure that's what's gonna happen with tournament mode, right? Everyone can create tournaments, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna move away.
The automated ones.
Okay, so they would have basically
they keep their brand, they just get to do it through a better system, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So they would have basically permissions that I would not. Let's say that they could do it every week, right? And that I would need to do them manually.
Yeah, it's just like an automated system that sets it up for them each week, and then people can register.
Okay, I get that. It encourages. Okay, so she adds it encourages people to actually make a team. Many people don't even know what a Gfinity is. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so it would be like people would know that those tournaments would be weekly, so it would be kind of okay, I get that. So it would be go.
Whoa. Wouldn't like when tournament mode is gonna be around, wouldn't like the tournaments be called like weekly Gfinity tournaments, so people would know that there's a tournament weekly that Gfinity is running?
Yeah, good point.
I mean, people don't even have to use the website of Gfinity at this point if tournament mode is implemented.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that. I have trouble like seeing how being automated would change everything, but I get the point because a lot of people, and I think Alyssa, you get a good point that not a lot of people know what a Gfinity is, and I feel the problem is that everything is third party. It's not in game. It's not the automated part. It's the fact that you have to leave Rocket League to know what this is. Do you guys agree or not, or do you think I'm dumb? And okay,
I agree.
Definitely agree.
Okay, cool. All right, so we will end on that. Yeah, definitely. We will end on that. I really appreciate everyone who provided me with their very interesting opinions. I really like to see the multiple views that we have, because everyone really play Rocket League like for the same reason, but at the same time, really different reasons, right? So it's real cool to see their opinion. So I would like to thank you, Titan, for joining me.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank CD for also joining us.
My pleasure.
So thank you, everyone. I would definitely thank also the chat. Thank you, Megafly, Purple, Dezo, Lissa, Oz, everyone, Tomato, everyone who participated with their ideas, and I do really appreciate it. And we're gonna end Cards of the Roundtable on this. All right, so I'm